has over 35 working wood and gas units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. More information at woodlandstoves.com. Find the fire that works for you. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for sunny skies today with a high near 65, tonight clear with a low around 45, and Saturday sunny with a high near 67. Experience live music like never before at Crooner Supper Club. Enjoy top-tier performances in the main stage showroom, Dunsmore Jazz Room, or Under the Stars at the Belvedere. Plus, Maggie's Piano Lounge is always open with no cover charge. Find more details at croonersmn.com.
Welcome to a special broadcast of The Gailey Show on AM 9.
AM 950 with a live broadcast of The Daily Show, live from Twin Cities Quorum National Coming Out Day Luncheon. Gentlemen, turn your mics on and let's do a show.
Space. I actually just traveled to DC for the National HRC dinner, and it was a very different vibe and different atmosphere than it has been in years past. But I haven't sunset here today yet. Minnesota is strong. We're resilient. We have an amazing queer community that knows how to come together and really support one another. But I do think for those allies, especially, it's really important to show the power of our community and the resilience of our community. So being able to invite them in, share our stories, and show them that no matter what the political environment is, we're here to stay. We're fighters. We're going to continue advocating for our rights and to be able to live our lifestyle out and openly. And that's really what National Coming Out Day is all about.
Perfect. I'm asking all the questions here. Philip or Ellie, do you have questions for Matt?
Well, Matt, what is the mission statement for Quorum? Like, what would you like the audience to know about Quorum?
Oh, you are testing my board member skills
Did I get
here.
too technical there?
Well,
And
Quorum
in
is
true
an
Quorum
award-winning
fashion-
LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, so we are an affiliate chamber of NGLCC, which is the national chapter of the Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce. And we've played a really strong partnership with NGLCC, and we've created really a framework on what it means to be a corporate partner in the queer sector, especially as we talk about what DEI is and was and what it looks like today. I think we've been able to really advocate and maneuver that change, but Quorum is really at its base. It's meant to support our LGBTQ plus small businesses thrive and grow. And we will help them get certified through NGLCC, which recognizes them as you have to be 51% or more LGBTQ owned to get certified. So then we certify them, we help them, and then we give them the tools and resources to really strive. And Rebecca really loves helping amplify our small businesses and being able to help them grow and become more than just a mom and pop shop out of someone's basement, but give them a storefront, give them a space to come. We have our holiday market that will be coming up in December where we celebrate our year, but we bring in a lot of our small business vendors that make and create their own products. So we invite you to come to that. More details on our website, which is twincitiesquorum.com. Have to make sure to plug that. And of course, we're on Facebook and Instagram and all the wonderful social medias.
Perfect. Thank you, Matt. This has been really lovely. Thank you for all the work that you and Quorum have been doing to put this event on today and throughout the years.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
I did not know that this was the largest coming out day luncheon in the United States. Something that I'm also very proud of to be on AM 950 radio is that we do queer radio programming, I would say better than any other progressive radio station in the country. And part of that is because of the people who are sitting to the left and right of me. Ellie, tell us about your show and what you've got coming up tomorrow afternoon.
My show is named The Illegal Trans Woman. The show originated 2 days after Donald Trump was elected president. I've been on the radio now for almost a decade, so this show is the third iteration of what I've been doing on AM 950. But The Illegal Trans Woman is, as far as I know, the only radio show / podcast, that's broadcast live across the airways that is advocating exclusively for transgender people. We also work to, cross the divide and be as welcoming as we can to anybody who is afraid or uncertain about trans people. My goal, I'm an inclusionist and somebody who works on human inclusivity, but my show is taking on as much as possible about Trump and MAGA and those who seek to erase transgender people from this earth.
I will say when we got started, The Gaily Show, on a daily basis, we were so lucky to have you come on there, and you flagged something right away that I hadn't been hearing from anybody, which was what MAGA was going to do and Trump around federal right away in early January. And that's why, folks, you need to be tuning into Ellie's show, because you are giving us the lowdown of what's going to happen before you're calling the news before it happens.
Yeah, and we tomorrow's show will have Orion Rumler from the 19th, who's going to come in and talk about some polling around whether cisgender and other people believe that transgender people and youth, adults and youth, should have access to gender affirming care. I just love the idea of people who have nothing to do with me doing a vote about whether I get to have any health care.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to that episode. That is at 4 p.m. on Saturday. All right, we have a guest, something we want to feature at the National Coming Out Day special live broadcast. For those of you who are just tuning in, this is a special episode of The Gaily Show. Yes, we are preempting the last half hour of Stephanie Miller, and we will be preempting the first half hour of Tom Hartman, because this is the largest coming out day luncheon in the United States, and we want to feature the attendees and vendors who are here today telling us a little bit about their coming out stories. And joining us now is Obi. Obi, welcome to our broadcast. And
Thank you.
tell us a little bit about your own coming out story.
So I grew up in southeastern Minnesota on a farm. The first dozen years of life were taking care of cows and cats and hay bales and whatnot. And I then, when I was in high school, I was in Montana, living with my grandparents at the time, and another rural context and setting. And I learned in those places that you couldn't be different. You couldn't be other than the normal, kind of cis, het, white, straight, etc. And but and I was very active in church at the time. My grandmother, my grandfather, very Lutheran, active in church. I was active in church, and the church was encouraging me to like be a leader, and I was doing that, singing in the choir, preaching once in a while, and then really started to recognize that, oh, I'm not the person I'm playing in public. And over the course of a year, really wrestled with my own journey and ended up coming out in the spring of my senior year of high school. Wow. And my grandmother, to her credit, she was the first person that came out to, and I said, I don't think I can be a pastor anymore, because they always wanted me to be a pastor. And I said, I don't think I can be a pastor anymore because I'm gay. And she said, well, of course you can, honey. Of course you can. And so my grandmother, bless her heart, she just turned 90 this July and is holding down progressive values and inclusive faith community in Montana. I back here now. My husband and I met in seminary, and I was a pastor in a parish for 15 years here in Minnesota. And at the beginning of this year, I launched a multi-faith, multiracial, statewide LGBTQ community organizing effort called PRISM Organizing Network.
That's amazing.
What a great story. And
thank you.
God love your grandmother.
Isn't she fantastic?
Right?
Oh,
Yes.
my goodness.
You
Obi,
know,
I just want to say
everyone.
one thing before we continue here. I thank you, first of all, for being a guest on my show.
Yeah.
It was amazing. If you want to listen to that episode, Obi was great. And what do you have coming up with Prism? Are there any events that you'd like to tell the audience about?
We're in the middle of awareness raising around school board elections this fall. Because we have dozens of school boards in Minnesota.
You're singing Ellie's song right now.
Who are electing candidates, and these are races where typically less than 5% of people actually vote in their school board elections.
Yes.
But school boards have an incredible impact on the culture of a whole community through policies and practices of the school board and then the administration, for school students, for staff, for teachers. And so we're doing our part in some key areas around the Twin Cities and in Duluth to make sure, in coalition with other organizations like the School Board Integrity Project, that we make sure voters turn out and vote for candidates who support our values and protect all kids and all people within the school community. Perfect. So those are the things that we've got coming up. People can find us prismorganizing.org is our website.
Thank you, Obi. We have to fit in a break here. We're going to take a break real quick here. Thank you to Obi. You all got the website.
Happy coming out day.
Happy coming out day. You are listening to a special broadcast of The Gailey Show, hosted by Ellie Krug of The Illegal Trans Woman and Philip Anthony of The Downright Upright Show. I am John Parker. Let's take a break. We'll be back here in a couple minutes.
Obi.
Oh, ils sont tous pour moi.
Oh, Francois, these are just for you? Well, visit nicholasmacaroons.com today to create thoughtful gifts for your business, your friends, or yourself.
He's greedy. He's scrumptious. He's horrid. Roald Dahl's The Enormous Crocodile the Musical is on stage now through November 23rd at Children's Theatre Company, featuring eye-popping puppets, a rich score with great groove, and plenty of mischievous audience interaction. Don't miss the U.S. premiere of the smash UK hit. Get your tickets for The Enormous Crocodile the Musical today at childrenstheatre.org.
Welcome back to a special live broadcast of The Gailey Show at the National Coming Out Day Luncheon. My name is John Parker. I am joined by the host of The Legal Trans Woman, Ellie Krug, and the host of the Downright Upright Show, Philip Anthony.
Yes.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
If you are just tuning in, we are going to be broadcasting live for the next 45 minutes-ish. We'll wrap up at 11:30. So if you're tuning in for Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman, you get us for the next 45 minutes at the largest coming out day luncheon in the United States. And it's not just here. We have other AM 950 radio hosts that are joining us here today. But the largest National Coming Out Day luncheon in the U.S., over 25 vendors are here. There's going to be a number of attendees as well. Philip, I want to talk about, because progressive radio, particularly AM 950, does the most comprehensive LGBTQ radio programming in the country. It's for certain at any progressive radio station, and certainly any conservative radio station. Tell us a little bit about your show and what you've got coming up tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m.
Yes, well, my show is really a conglomeration of different things. We talk about gay issues, trans issues, liberal/progressive issues, entertainment news, everything. And I just want to say for tomorrow's show, it is tomorrow, right? Yeah, it is. Tomorrow's show, I will have Robert Pilot, who is the host of Native Roots Radio. We always talk about Native issues on AM 950, and his show is on every day, Monday to Friday at 5 o'clock. And the week after that, I have Javin Hint and Deborah D from PFLAG. Oh, my goodness. And they're going to be talking about their efforts in the Twin Cities. And they're in River Falls, actually. That's where their headquarters is. So, yeah, and we're just here to uplift, right?
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Philip.
You're welcome.
I want to make sure that we mention that today's broadcast is sponsored by Amy Rusnick of No Place Like Home Realty.
Yay!
You can go to noplacelikehome.info. Amy is like the top #1 seller of realty for like multiple years in a row. I'm looking right now at the display. There's a phone on a bird house. I'm going to be curious to see what that is. But thank you, Amy, for sponsoring us today. You can go to noplacelikehome.info for all of your real estate needs working with Amy. All right, we have a guest coming up. We're having guests from the day telling us their coming out stories, because these stories are so powerful, and we're at a particular moment in history in the United States where we need to be telling our stories and coming together as a community, queer folks and allies alike. Joining us is the executive director of One Voice Mixed Chorus, Jerome Evans. Hi, Jerome.
Hi, Jerome.
Hi, Jerome.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you for having me. I'm just really thrilled to have been pulled aside during this wonderful event.
So tell us a little bit about your own coming out story.
Yeah, then I think that's part of the reason why I'm so surprised, because I don't have your typical coming out story.
Perfect.
But you're absolutely right. It's so important that we share our stories during this time. And I think it's in its unusualness that it's special and kind of resonant with people. I went to a performing arts high school in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And so when I had my queer awakening, it was not special. It was almost bureaucratic. It was like, are you a dance gay, a theater gay, or like a singing gay? And I was like, yes,
So
yes,
there was
and yes.
Yes. Yes.
Boxes on the application to check.
Exactly. Triple threat. And I honestly thought that as I grew up, other people behind me were having the same experience. Because for me, it was like, oh, okay, it's the straight ones who are unusual here. It's the heterosexuals that are just going through a phase, and they'd come out of it, and some of them did.
Oh my God.
But that's not the case. As I look behind me at the kids who are coming up these days, they are still afraid. There's still a closet. Can you believe there's still a closet in 2025?
Unbelievable. Yeah.
It's wild to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like more people should have the same experience that I did, especially in really affirming geographies like the Twin Cities. Like, there's just no excuse for it in this day and age. Come on out of the closet. It's wonderful here, especially if you're a singer, actor, or dancer. Singers, One Voice Mixed Chorus will welcome you. Here in this marketplace, a National Coming Out Day, I saw a ballet company, and I thought about it.
Oh,
I'm too old now, but I thought about it.
What is the chorus's website that they can look?
Oh, onevoicemn.org.
Okay.
And you have a concert coming up, Protest Lines.
You're absolutely right. This is for all of your shows. I think this was actually pretty resonant with your listeners. We are having a show called Protest Lines that's celebrating free speech in the United States of America, which is a thing that we have to point out now. We used to really take it for granted, but it turns out if you want to keep it, you have to fight for it.
Exactly.
Yes. And, we are a 501c3, so we can't be out in the streets ourselves. But what we can do is teach you protest songs in the audience. So you come, you sit in the audience, the chorus will teach you the songs, and we're all going to sing together. And then when you decide that you are ready to take it out to the streets, you will have songs to sing. Because political singing, like songs in the political space, has a long history when it comes to protests.
Yeah.
You are going to hear "This Land Is Your Land," and it is going to hit different at protest lines.
Oh yeah.
And when you're literally on the protest lines. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. I mean, in Portland, that's what they're doing every night, is that they're singing, and I actually saw a video of older people with ukuleles singing "This Land Is Your Land" today. And it's you're so right about this free speech, Jerome, because we are at great risk. We are. I mean, I deliberately titled my radio podcast show "The Illegal Trans Woman" because I had free speech, and who knows how long that will last. But I think it's great. Thank you for doing that work. Thank you for making it also, I'm going to assume, fun to learn about protests.
Well, Jerome, I wanted to ask you a question, because this is an issue that's affecting the gay community right now. The Supreme Court listened to arguments recently about a conversion therapy. Did you listen to that argument?
I didn't listen to the argument, but I did see that it was being heard.
Okay, can you believe that they want to bring torture back to our community? What say you?
I was incredulous reading the article. Again, it comes back to that idea that we should be past this by now. And in half of the states, we are past it, but the other half is continuing to try to drag us back.
Yes.
And, just because the Supreme Court says something is legal doesn't mean it's right. And it certainly does not mean that in your state, you have to sit down and sit quiet and let it happen.
Yeah. Ellie's the attorney here, so I'm going to throw it to her a second. What happens if they do overturn a conversion therapy and say it's legal again? Can Minnesota do anything about that?
We've got 1 minute.
Nope. We will have to abide by what the Supreme Court declares.
Oh boy.
No, this is a huge issue. That this case is huge, and I'll note that there are two transgender athlete cases that are going to be argued later this fall. And so, we're, as a country, we are at a tipping point.
Yeah.
We have to fit in a quick break here. You are listening to a special broadcast of The Gailey Show at the National Coming Out Day Luncheon, the largest National Coming Out Day Luncheon here in Minneapolis in the United States. We are with Ellie Krug, host of The Illegal Trans Woman, and Philip Anthony, host of The Downright Upright Show with Philip Anthony. This broadcast is sponsored by Amy Rusnick of No Place Like Home Realty. Stay tuned. We have another half hour from the National Coming Out Day Luncheon right here in Minneapolis, hosted by Twin Cities Quorum.
Thank you, Jerome.
Thanks, Jerome.
More store traffic, more customers. Thousands of local businesses, just like yours, count on Minuteman Uptown to drive sales. We make your business stand out and show out. We print everything from signage, promotions, and direct marketing. We connect you to the community. Choose Minuteman Uptown because we share your values, and we are a proud union shop. Contact us today at mpuptown.com.
Hey friends, this is John Parker from The Gailey Show. When I travel, I want to go somewhere where I can unwind, get back to nature like with waterfalls and hiking, enjoy some classic downtown shopping with good restaurants, and also just be myself as a queer person without worries. That's why twice a year for the past 10 years, I've been visiting Michigan's Marquette County. This fall, join me and head up to the Fresh Coast. Visit travelmarquette.com to start your journey.
I'm standing up for the middle class. Tom Hartman here on the Progressive Voice of Minnesota, AM 950, KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Meeting with China's Xi Jinping after blasting China for restricting rare earth exports. Stocks have moved sharply lower as a result. On social media, the president says he's looking at a massive increase of import taxes on Chinese products in response. The UN says it will begin delivering scaled-up humanitarian aid into Gaza Sunday as the ceasefire takes effect. Dr. Maya Ayad is at a hospital in Gaza.
And we are running the hospital with the minimal staff who can take care of hundreds and hundreds of patients. Our need is great. We need a lot of supply. We need a lot of equipment.
The UN says it's only been recently able to deliver about 20% of aid into Gaza. The White House says the Nobel Committee chose politics over peace in not recognizing President Trump. Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for her work promoting democratic rights.
I'm honored, humbled, and very grateful on behalf of the Venezuelan people. We're not there yet. We're working very hard to achieve it, but I'm sure that we will prevail, and this is certainly a biggest recognition to our people that certainly deserve it.
Machado says she wants to dedicate the win to President Trump and praised him for support of her cause. President Trump is getting a checkup at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. First Lady Melania Trump says 8 Ukrainian children have been reunited with their families after ongoing talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Each child has lived in turmoil because of the war in Ukraine. 3 were separated from their parents and displaced to the Russian Federation because of frontline fighting.
The others were separated from family members. This is AP News.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can easily find the right home insurance for you, even if it's not with Progressive. But if you don't choose us, then sure, okay, it's not going to work out. We're not going to cry about it or stay awake wondering what our future together would have looked like. We can't get emotionally invested, even if it sounds like we are. Progressive's Home Quote Explorer allows you to easily compare home insurance rates and coverages in one place, even if it's not with us. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. I love you. I shouldn't have said that.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store, and we'll give you a better deal. Now, what to do with your unwanted bills? Maybe turn them into paper airplanes headed to See Ya Never AT&T and T-Mobile. Jokes aside, the best 5G network has you covered with the most ways to save on plans, streaming, and phone deals. So bring in your bill to your local Verizon store, and we'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on root metrics from score report dated 1H 2025. Your results may vary. Must provide a postpaid consumer mobile bill dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person.
Time is running out. Don't miss Doris Hines closes October 12th at History Theater in St. Paul. This electrifying world premiere celebrates the extraordinary life of Minneapolis jazz legend Doris Hines with her music, her courage, and her lasting influence on the Twin Cities and beyond. Through unforgettable performances and live jazz, the show honors a woman who sang with the greats and inspired generations. Seats are going fast and discounts are available for students, seniors, and veterans. Learn more at historytheater.com. That's historytheater.com.
Market Fresh Minnesota is your to-go destination for fresh vegetables, quality meats, seafood, and a wide variety of grocery staples. Locally owned and operated, Market Fresh Minnesota brings together the best of Asian foods in one welcoming store that is also kind to the pocketbook. Discover Market Fresh, your local Asian food store, just south of Rosedale on 1800 County Road 36.
Hi, I'm Scott Shambot from Shambot Family Dentistry. We're the fear-free, shame-free dental office. If you're having a dental emergency, we'll try and get you in the same day you call because we don't like to see anyone in pain. And we'll help you get through every appointment in the most pain-free way possible. As my daughter Rachel says,
if you don't see my dad, please see another dentist. Take care of your teeth because they're the only ones you get.
Shamblat Family Dentistry in Hopkins and St. Paul. Find them online at shamblatfamilydentistry.com or call 1-800-FIX-MY-TEETH.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for sunny skies today with a high near 65, tonight clear with a low around 45, and Saturday sunny with a high near 67. Experience live music like never before at Crooner's Supper Club. Enjoy top-tier performances in the main stage showroom, Dunsmore Jazz Room, or Under the Stars at the Belvedere. Plus, Maggie's Piano Lounge is always open with no cover charge. Find more details at croonersmn.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Welcome to a special live broadcast of The Gailey Show. I'm John Parker. Alongside me are the hosts of The Illegal Trans Woman, Ellie Krug, and The Downright Upright Show with Philip Anthony. If you are just tuning in, this is a live broadcast from the National Coming Out Day Luncheon, which is the largest Coming Out Day Luncheon in the United States. We will be here for the next half hour, so if you're tuning in for Tom Hartman, we will return to his show at 11:30. Our broadcast today is sponsored by Amy Rusnick from No Place Like Home Realty, right across the way there. You can head to noplacelikehome.info. Amy is like the best-selling real estate person in like for 40 years here in the Twin Cities. So it's been really great to have this partnership with Amy. We are going to have folks coming up throughout the next half hour to share part of their coming out day stories, or coming out day, their coming out stories, because telling these stories are really important for us to build community. Sorry, we're doing a live broadcast. We've got people walking up to the table. It's really fun. And before the reason why we need to have events like these is we were just talking before the break with Jerome Evans, the executive director of One Voice Mixed Chorus. We have a huge threat with the current Supreme Court. I know Ellie and Philip and I, we've all been talking about this court on our individual shows, and they have just gone off the rails, I would say, in my editorial opinion, that they are just coming for everybody, particularly the queer community.
Particularly for trans people.
Trans
people. I can't imagine what America is going to be like for trans people by the next National Coming Out Day, next October, because between now and then, the Supreme Court is going to decide issues around conversion therapy, and then the Supreme Court will decide issues around whether transgender athletes have the right to participate in sports according to their gender identity. And John, I guarantee you the Supreme Court is not going to rule favorably on either of those issues.
No, they won't.
So this time next year, transgender people are going to be at even greater risk than what we are right now. And God forbid we have some other incident involving a transgender person, and then the government is going to label all of us as domestic terrorists. I cannot describe the degree of terror within my community.
What we were just talking about at the FBI this week, they're trying to have a policy of it was like transgender ideology, extreme violence, which means absolutely nothing, but it gives them that sort of blanket policy to then start to terrorize the trans and gender nonconforming community, and by extension, the larger queer community. It is bonkers what we are living through right now. And you need to tune in, if you're listening, to these 3 shows: the Legal Trans Woman at 4 p.m. every Saturday, available everywhere you get your podcasts, and the Downright Upright Show with Philip Anthony every Saturday afternoon at 5 p.m., also everywhere that you get your podcast. Part of our program today is that we are welcoming guests who are attending the National Coming Out Day Luncheon to share part of their coming out stories. And so we have a guest right now who is joining us, Jem.
I love the outfit, by the way.
I know.
Thank
The
you.
earrings.
I don't
earrings,
hide my
the hair.
queer. It's out there for the whole world.
Well, tell us a little bit about your coming out day story.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I grew up in a really strict church, right? And I didn't realize I was gay because that was wrong. That was not okay. And grew up in a family where I was really isolated growing up on the farm. And I didn't spend a lot of time in the city or meeting other people like me. And I just pushed everything down and I hid it. And I met a wonderful man when I was 17 years old, and I started doing life with him because that's what I thought I was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we got married, had children, did the whole escalator thing. And to be very honest with you, one day I was giving him a hard time for checking out this woman who was walking by. And he turned to me and he said, "You were checking her out more than I was." And that
cute.
was really the moment.
Newsflash.
Yeah. That was the moment where I said, "Oh my gosh, this might be the answer." And I don't know if I can say this or not, but be ready to bleep it out.
Don't.
I just.
We don't need to give the FCC any
felt-
reason to come
I
after
felt
us.
I was in my marriage, and I just thought I was asexual. Like I just didn't like it. And so hopefully that's okay to say on the air.
Oh, yeah.
And that was
Yes,
really
obviously,
hard
yes.
for me because I loved this man very much, but I ran away when it came to that piece, right? And then after we ended up divorcing, and I just began dating women. And I started posting on social, and I didn't have a big like sit down and tell everybody. I just hopped right out and started living.
Yeah.
And that might be what you see in front of you right now, obviously.
I love it. Jem, I want to ask you something because
Absolutely.
authenticity is so important. And we, the 3 of us were discussing the conversion therapy thing. Now, you went into, a faux marriage, basically, right? What's going to happen if they bring that back, conversion therapy, and everybody is going to be so afraid to be gay and be authentic? They'll probably go through that just so they don't have to deal with being gay or being trans or whatever. So can you talk about that?
I don't know if I can talk about that. What are we going to do?
Yes.
I don't
know.
I don't have an answer for you.
I don't either.
I'm scared of what's coming, but I'm not going to stop being me.
Thank you.
The only places that are tricky for me is being a single mom of 3 kids. And so I have to be careful in certain spaces for their safety. We wanted to leave the country this summer to go on vacation. We got them their passports. We were all excited. And ultimately we didn't because I didn't know if I was going to be safe coming back into this country.
Yeah. Wow.
Right?
I have the same concerns.
Yeah. So
That's why I don't leave.
yes.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing, but I am living my life as these people who can see me now. I know the radio world can't see me, but I live
Actually,
out
I think we
loud.
have a camera right there.
Do we?
Yeah.
You're on TV.
Hello.
Rectangular thing.
Yeah, I want to live my life so out loud now that I invite other people to do, to show them that this is okay, to normalize this. in the, and
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if that's the right language, but I'm just going to be me. I am a financial advisor with Thrivent Financial right now. And Thrivent has its roots in Christianity. And I was concerned about that coming in. And now that I am there, it's so beautiful the work I can do there. And because they're a nonprofit, I can also direct my dollars that Thrivent gets to organizations like the Human Rights Campaign or PRISM or whatever it might be. So I've found much joy there, and I'm really hoping to like be a different face for queer clients too. So
yeah,
wonderful, wonderful. I think Thrivent's a wonderful company.
Thank you, Jem, for
Thank
joining
you so
us
much for having
and
me.
sharing part of your story with us.
Thank
It's
you.
really important. And you're raising a lot of important issues that I feel like the progressive community, who are all the listeners of AM 950 radio, need to be hearing and need to get on board with. You know what I mean? And obviously, I think they're very amenable to doing that, the progressive community. But I think that the organizing that's going to need to happen and the issues that you're raising are going to have to be front and center. So thank you. Happy coming out day.
Yeah, thanks for being here and allowing me to share my story.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Please, we all need to be telling our story. I wish we could get everybody on here, but we have to take a break right now. You're listening to a special broadcast of The Gailey Show, hosted alongside me with John Parker, Ellie Krug of The Illegal Trans Woman, and Philip Anthony of The Downright Upright Show with Philip Anthony. We're going to take that break. Today's broadcast is sponsored by Amy Ruzdick of No Place Like Home Realty. Head to noplacelikehome.info for your realty needs, and we will be rejoining the Tom Hartman Show at 11:30 if you're curious about that. More to come after this break.
Find a wide selection of outdoor hearth products at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Whether you prefer wood or gas, Woodland Stoves has the fire to fit your home. Pizza aficionados know nothing matches masonry oven baking for capturing flavor and nutrition. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces can easily install one in your home or business. Enthusiasts use these ovens year-round for bread making, wood roasting, even grilling.
The mission and passion of Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces is to make the fire work for you. The way humans relate to fire is primordial. We have used fire to warm our bodies, cook our meals, and kindle our spirits. Our team has the know-how to do this in a clean-burning and environmentally smart way. Visit our store and experience the diversity. We have over 35 working units on display at the corner of Riverside and East Franklin. See us online at woodlandstoves.com. Find the fire that fits and works for you.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
Hey friends, John Parker here from The Gailey Show. Traveling as a queer person or with queer friends and family needs to be worry-free, relaxing, and with a sparkle of adventure. So that's why for the past 10 years, I head up to the Fresh Coast and Michigan's Marquette County. With its spectacular fall colors, dozens of hiking trails, local breweries, good food, eclectic shopping, and its historic downtown, and even a film festival, it's just what I need for a long weekend getaway. Join me and head up to the Fresh Coast. Visit travelmarquette.com to start your journey.
Adventure is calling. Set sail with Treasure Island at Children's Theatre Company, where danger, discovery, and daring sword fights await. Follow young Jim Hawkins on a journey filled with mysterious maps, buried treasure, and the unforgettable Long John Silver. A legendary story brought to life with stunning visuals, live music, and heart-pounding action. Don't miss Treasure Island, September 9th through October 19th. Tickets at childrenstheatre.org.
Welcome back to the special broadcast of The Gailey Show here on AM 950 Radio. We are coming up on the bottom of the hour. Our hour-long special has been sponsored by Amy Ruzdick of No Place Like Home Realty. Head to noplacelikehome.info for all of your real estate needs, whether you're in the market for a new home or you are looking to sell your home. I am joined by the host of The Illegal Trans Woman, Ellie Krug, and Philip Anthony, host of The Downright Upright Show with Philip Anthony. Both of those shows air on Saturday afternoons, every Saturday afternoon, as part of our LGBTQ block of programming that we offer to AM 950 radio listeners. Also included in there is Twin Cities Pride Amplified, which is hosted by the executive director of Twin Cities Pride, Andy Otto. Yes, and
Yes.
Rena.
And Rena
I'm blanking-
Heisel, yeah.
Rena Heisel. Sorry, I totally blanked on your names, Andy and Rena. I apologize for that. This, I was thinking about this. I learned during this broadcast that this is the largest coming out day luncheon in the United States. Minnesota and Minnesota progressive community and the Minnesota LGBT community, we do this right. And what I mean by that is that we also have here in Minnesota the largest free pride in the United States. So there are, there's Los Angeles and New York. They are paid prides. You have to pay a ticket to get in there. We do not have a ticket to get into our annual Pride Festival, which makes us the largest Pride Festival, free Pride Festival in the United States. Now I learned that we have the largest coming out day luncheon in the United States. And also for AM 950 listeners and potential AM 950 listeners, we have the most comprehensive programming, LGBTQ programming of Twin Cities, of Minnesota, and the United States. Every afternoon here from 2 to 6 p.m. Every Saturday afternoon from 2 to 6 p.m. Sorry, it's live radio, and we've got a guest that is coming up here to the table to talk with us. Every Saturday afternoon, 2 to 6 p.m., you can tune into the best local LGBTQ programming covering state issues as well and national issues. No other progressive radio station, no other radio station in the country offers you this. And of course, you can listen to The Gaily Show every afternoon from 2 to 3 p.m. We are joined by a guest. We've been asking folks to come up to our table throughout the past hour to share part of their coming out day stories. And so we've got, I keep saying coming out day, coming out stories. We now have Perry, who is on the Quorum Board of Directors. Hello, Perry. Welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about your own coming out story.
Hi there. Thank you. My story, as anybody's story, is complex. So I spent out of high school, joined the military. I served in the Air Force. Actually served during a time of don't ask, don't tell, and learned quickly amongst those of us that knew we were queer. It was just kind of keep it to ourselves and keep it on the down low. And then the hard thing was the job that I had while I was in the service was what we call personnel, and so had to process some of those paperwork for people who were either outed themselves or were outed.
Wow.
Talk about a conflict of interest. Yeah, that was
Wow.
rough. But I grew up in a Southern conservative family, not really having the language or the words of what gender spectrum or gender identity or attraction could look like. And as I became an adult, left the military and moved to Minnesota, I started to get a little more education into understanding, how people can define themselves. And it always felt like something was a little off. Like I wasn't doing womanhood right.
Or manhood
Yeah.
in my case.
Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't good at it. And it was until my early 40s that I finally was like, I've waited for the quote unquote, you'll grow out of it. It's a phase. And
Oh, yeah.
when you're in your late 30s, early 40s, and you don't grow out of something, maybe it's not a phase.
Yeah.
And came out publicly to my family, to my children. My concern was, will my kids understand me and accept me? I came out. I have 3 boys who are all young adults now, and their responses individually were, "That's fine. You're just my mom, and you'll always be my mom. I just want you to be happy." One response was "cool," and then the third response is "What's for dinner?" Which tells me the younger generation cares a lot less about stuff like this.
Absolutely.
And in my search to kind of understand myself better, understand how I support, I ended up going to grad school. I got a master's in psychology of gender and sexual fluidity.
Wow.
And now I'm a year, actually 3 weeks into starting my dissertation for my PhD in the same.
Ooh, congrats.
And my work is studying the effectiveness of inclusion training for trans and non-binary workforce. I've actually been in human resources for 25 plus years, and just kind of seeing, the employment treatment, the continued microaggressions, studying, what it's like for people who are trans and non-binary to whether it's from interviewing, having a resume, whether they get the right responsibilities, being promoted, being trusted with work. And I actually just this last weekend hit my 1 year mark on transitioning. So that's been a journey for me too.
Congratulations to
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Being middle-aged and going through puberty is not fun.
Okay.
It was
Thank you.
it was a weird experience. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing part of your story, and I want to something that's changing about coming out. And you mentioned about how your kids were sort of like, oh well, oh I don't care, you know what I mean? But I think kids are redefining, like the Gen Alpha folks are redefining what coming out is. And I think for a lot of them, it's sort of like, well, why is there coming out? I've just always been out, you know what I mean? And so it's this interesting juxtaposition of kids who are like, why do we need the coming out? But then also all these attacks on them where they're really focusing in on, when you look at book bans and all of the laws around schools, I mean, they're really attacking queer and trans kids right now. And so I think it's really, thank you for bringing up that generational difference right now.
No, I mean, what those in power don't understand is that at least 30% of Gen Z is identifying as queer. Somewhere along the alphabet. That is 30% of the future workforce. And by trying to suppress queer identities, they are literally destroying a future workforce for us. And again, all part of short-sightedness on the part of a small group of people with power who want to have complete social conformity.
Yeah.
And Perry, I'm so loving your story, but I just have to tell you, there is no way I would have ever guessed that you were in your 40s, let alone in your 30s. So,
Oh, thank you.
I'd love to have your genes.
Must be the cream.
I'd love
Yeah,
to have the
it's
genes.
the I knew from a young age I was always going to be pale, so I just didn't bother with the sun. Just was going to be what it is. But yeah, to your point, there's a concept called the inclusion framework when you apply it to workplace belonging. And there's four spectrums of that, and the first one being assimilation. So you hire someone based on their diversity and their uniqueness because they've got not based on it, but you're saying this is a unique opinion, unique ideas that we could bring into our company. Welcome. Now act like everybody else. Fit into our culture, and that's assimilation. And most employees of diversity, will find their way out of the company at a time because then they're not valued. And then, there's those employees that you hire where you value their skills, but they're disengaged. You're not bringing them into the organization, or you have folks that they're really brought into the organization and follow the things, but we're not valuing their skills and their opinion. And it's like, well, you've got these four areas in the inclusion framework. The only one that's acceptable is inclusion, where you're valuing their high worth and you're valuing their opinion. And those are the employees by far that are the most productive, that are happy where they work, that continue to go above and beyond and have staying power.
Yeah.
Well, when you're creating such a repressive regime for kids, that's going to change the values of what they're looking for, right? In there, when they get to 18 and when they graduate from college and they're looking for a job, and that's going to, when they're coming out of a repressive regime that they've been living under, for 18 years, that's going to radically change the workplace, and there's going to be huge conflict. I think, with I'm on the cusp of the Xers and millennials, and so there's going to be that fight over values, and I'm,
well, we
Xers and millennials, like, get ready.
Should I say it? Yeah. We're old. I mean, Ellie and I are been around the block, and I'll tell you, Boomers. I am not going back in the closet. We went through the AIDS crisis, Ellie and I, and we saw people die that we loved very dearly, and it's not going to happen. We're not shoving people back in the closets or for clothes. It's not happening. So I want to validate every single one of you out there that are listening to this show, whether you're the L, the G, the B, whatever, that you are loved, and you are loved by AM 950 and all of the hosts and everyone on AM 950. So,
well, that's the thing. Like, even when I was, in a setting in corporate world where I called it the costume, I followed the rules. I wore the feminine things. I felt like I was and I couldn't wait to get home and just take all of that off. 2020 really changed a lot of that for folks. So they stopped having to have a facade in the office and be themselves. But there's that level of control of like, follow our rules and you'll be okay. Do what we need you to do and you'll be safe. I am one that can tell people I have done that. It did not serve me ever. It served them, not myself. I did what I was supposed to do. I followed the rules, good Christian person, kept to myself. It's that whole like, where we're okay if you're gay or trans in the office, just keep it to yourself.
Right.
Well, but that doesn't create any belonging or sense of camaraderie, because what do people want to talk about when they get to know people at work? You want to talk about what'd you do this weekend? How's your family? What's going on? Our mission, not that I'm doing a million things, but I'm also working with Prism Organizing. And that's the thing where we have to stop following the rules in order to conform.
Thank you, Perry, so much. It was so great to meet you. Thank you for
Perry.
sharing your story and your research. We are wrapping up our live broadcast here at the National Coming Out Day Luncheon, the largest National Coming Out Day Luncheon in the United States. Thank you, Ellie, for joining us. And thank you, Philip, for joining us. Please check out their shows.
Thrilled to be here.
Legal Trans Woman
Pleasure.
tomorrow at 4 p.m. The Downright Upright Show with Philip Anthony at 5 p.m. Tune into The Gailey Show Monday through Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m. Thank you to Amy Ruzick from No Place Like Home for sponsoring us here today. Head to noplacelikeHome.info for all of your real estate needs. This has been a special broadcast of The Gailey Show. We're going to head back now to the Thom Hartmann Show, where the fight continues with Thom Hartmann. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. We look forward to seeing you on the podcast, on the radio. Thanks, AM 950 Radio, for making all this queer joy happen.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
This is Kelsey Alto, the Director of Programming for Twin Cities Pride. We had